So switch X, as the name implies, has two modes. One is the X mode and one is the sword mode. Now before we go into the basic attacks and the combos for this weapon, I think it is important to understand the gauges associated with this weapon. So there are two gauges associated with it. One is for the X mode and one is for the sword mode. You can see there are two gauges under the weapon sharpness. The top one is actually used is filled up when we attack using the X mode. So any attack we do in the X mode is gonna build up that gauge, as you can see. Now this gauge is actually gonna be used when we are in the sword mode to build up the gauge that is below the X gauge. So the first gauge is called the switch gauge and the gauge below that is called the amp gauge. Now that we have sufficient gauge in the X mode, we can actually press the R2 button to go into the sword mode and use the attacks in the sword mode to build the gauge below the X gauge, which is the amp gauge. Once the amp gauge is full, you get yourself into a state called the amped state, and now you can see the sword is vibrating. Now in this mode your attacks are boosted and you get access to some special attacks. So in summary, the way to play with this weapon is go into X mode, start attacking with X to build the switch gauge, and then switch to the sword mode and start building your amp gauge to get into the amp gauge. So your purpose of this weapon is to get into the amp gauge as much as possible and unleash devastating attacks on the monster, because you get buffs to attacks as well. Now with that understanding, let's go and understand the basic attacks that we can do in switch mode and sword mode, and then we'll talk about the combos. After that I will show you how to actually use this weapon in the actual hunt for the Chupacabra. Now first, the basic attack is the triangle attack with in the X mode. So use the R2 button to go into the X mode and then use the triangle buttons to attack. So overhead slash, slide slash and spiral burst slash. As you can see, the spiral burst slash gives us a lot of gauge back to us. So this should be the end of the combo is what you should be targeting and hitting if you're targeting for filling up that gauge. So 1, 2 and 3. So this will actually fill a lot of gauge. You can also use a variant of this attack by using the left stick to do a forward slash. If you press the L stick forward and then do the triangle attack, you will do a forward slash and then side slash and then spiral burst slash. So spiral burst slash is what gives you the gauge, a lot of gauge back. Then we have the circle button, which is wild swing. Actually you can do it continuously if you keep on pressing the circle button again and again, as long as you have stamina. The other attack that we have is the circle button, which is the wild swing. So you press the circle button to the wild swing and you keep on continuously pressing it to do multiple wild swings like that. Now one thing that you can do after you have done at least 2 rounds of wild swing is you can actually press the triangle button to do a heavy slam. Now after doing the heavy slam, you can see that the gauge under the switch gauge, there is a left section to the below gauge. In the amp state we have a left section. It symbolizes the power X mode. So now we are in the power X mode. You can see our X is glowing red. In this mode 2 things happen. Your X mode attacks are actually enhanced and you deal more damage, and the other thing that happens in this gauge is you get more switch gauge filled up than you get it normal. So your normal attacks in this mode are gonna fill up more gauge than the normal attack. So this is your power X mode. Then the way to get into the power X mode is to actually do wild swings a couple of times and then do the heavy swing. And the way you know that you are in power max mode, by seeing that there is a section glowing in the amp gauge below the switch gauge. Now you can also do a fade slash, which is actually a high reaching attack while moving backwards during a combo. For example, you are running a combo like this, you press the left stick backwards and then do a circle. Now you can do an offset attack with in the X mode as well. So the way you do it is with the triangle and circle button. So you spin a little and then you do this attack. So you need to time it well with the enemy's attack. And once you do a perfect offset attack, it actually you can follow it up with either a triangle or the R2 button to have a heavy slam or a morph slash. So let me show you that. Now let's do a offset attack. Now you can see we did a perfect slash, perfect offset, and then we press the triangle button for the heavy slam, and after the heavy slam we automatically went into the power X mode. So this is other way where you can move into the power X mode if you are not already into it. Other attack that we can do after a perfect offset is the R2, which is the morph slash. So let me show you that as well. Like this, and the next you can do is the morph slash, which basically lets us morph into the sword. So after a perfect offset you can morph seamlessly into the sword mode. Now the basic attack that we have in sword mode is actually the triangle attacks, which is overhead slash, rising slash and left rising slash. You can actually move while doing these attacks, so it gives you a little bit of maneuverability, but it doesn't fill the gauge as much as we would want. But good basic attacks and has a 3 button combo to it. Now the next attack, which is the circle button attack, actually fills up our sword gauge at a much faster rate than the triangle attack. So it's a 2-step combo where you press the circle button and then you press Heaven Ward Flurry, and as you can see our amp gauge is already full, and this should be your go-to attack for filling up the amp gauge as fast as possible, considering you have time to do so, because it's a little bit slow to pull off. So now you can also do a counter rising attack in sword mode. For that you have to press R2 and triangle and time it with the monster attack. It will do a couple of hits once you are able to parry the monster attack correctly, and then you can follow it up with a circle attack to actually fill a large amount of amp gauge. So let me show you. Like this, you will do a double attack and then you will convert it into a Heavenward Flurry, which will give your amp gauge a big boost. And you, as you see, we already entered into the amp state. So that's how you do that attack. The next attack that you can do is the element discharge. For that you have to be in sword mode, and once you are in sword mode you trigger it by pressing the triangle and circle button. And then continuously pressing the triangle button to do the element discharge. It's a very high damage finisher, and you are automatically moved back into the X mode after the attack. Now the other attack that you can do is the zero sum discharge in addition to the elemental discharge. For that you need to press the triangle and circle button instead of pressing it once, which will trigger an elemental discharge. Instead of that you need to press and hold them. Like this, while you are hanging onto the monster, you need to continuously press the triangle button to do the zero sum discharge. Like the element discharge, once you finish this combo, once you finish this attack, you will actually go back to the X mode. Note that you can only trigger zero sum discharge when you are in amped state. Alright, the next attack that we have is the unbridled slash. The way to trigger that attack is actually R2 and triangle and circle button. Pressing all the 3 buttons together will trigger this very cool attack. And you will automatically move into the X mode like the other attacks like element discharge. The next attack that we have is the full release slash. It can be done in combo after the element discharge. So let me explain first what you need to do and then do it for you. Otherwise it is a bit tougher for me to execute it while I'm explaining to you how to do it. So the way to do full release slash attack after the element discharge is to press the triangle and circle button to do element discharge, and at that time press and keep on holding the R2 button. Now while you are in element discharge, you will continuously press the triangle button. Once the element discharge attack is done, you can press the triangle and circle button again to do the full release slash. Now let's do the element discharge. Keep on pressing with the triangle button, and now press the triangle and circle to do the full release slash. So that's how you get it done. You will get the timing right. It's not that difficult to execute. It is sounding more difficult but rather easy to execute. So we haven't talked about the focus strikes in each mode. Every mode, the X mode and the sword mode, has different focus strikes. So in X mode you can actually attack it using the X mode and then convert your attacks into the sword mode by pressing the R2 in between, and then you can also use the element discharge after that by pressing the triangle and circle button. So let me show you how. So in X mode, focus is strike, then R2 for converting into the X mode, and then do the elemental discharge. Alright, so now in sword mode do the focus is strike and then press the R2 button. for a powerful X finisher. So this is the focus strike in both the modes. Both can be converted into powerful special attacks while we are in one mode or the other. Other combo that we have, apart from the combos that we have already discussed, there are few other combos that we can discuss. One combo is actually the one which can let you transition to the sword mode from the X mode. Basically, we will move into the power X mode and then we will transition into the sword mode using this combo. So the way it works is, while doing the wild swings, let's do that. Then we press triangle to do the power heavy slam, then press the R2 button to get into the sword mode, and that can be followed up with a triple slash, which actually further increases the amp gauge after in the sword mode. So this is a very good weapon where you can transition from X mode to sword mode and also fill a little bit of the amp gauge. Now we talked about the full release slash after the element discharge. What you can do is you can also do a unbridled slash. You can do this unbridled slash after the element discharge as well. So for that, what you need to do is trigger the element discharge while in sword mode. Trigger the element discharge while pressing the... Once the element discharge finishes, press the R2 button to get into the unbridled slash. So if you are not in amp state, you can go for unbridled slash. If you are in amp state, then you can go for full release slash. To start with, let me explain the different icons that you see on the top left corner, where below the weapon's durability or the weapon sharpness, you can see there are two red icons, two shells, and then there is a blue sword and then some shells. So there are three types of shells: normal, long and wide. These are used for different kind of attacks, and red ones are used for attack called Wyvern's Fire. That attack consumes these red shells and fire it. These ammo is actually filled over time once you use it. Similarly, the other one, which is the blue one, is used for a different attack called the cannon attack, Wimstick cannon they call it, and that is also used. And the last icons that you see are used for shelling. Now all these are the ammo that are required for different kinds of attack. So let's get started on how to use these to do absolutely devastating attacks to the monsters. Now first thing is your triangle attack, which is a normal attack, lateral thrust, but it can be converted into a combo, which is lateral thrust, and wide sweep, and then wormstake cannon. As you can see, we did wormstake cannon and it consumed the ammo on the left side, which was the blue one. Now you can get that ammo back by using the reload. You do reload by guard and circle button. You can also reload during a mid combo. For example, this, do a R2 circle to quickly reload and then go back to your combo. Do this, quickly reload, lateral thrust, 2, 3, wide sweep, and then cannon again. So it doesn't matter whether you have it or not, you can get it while performing a combo itself. Wide sweep is a very important move in Gunlance combo, and this opens up a possibility of very powerful attacks. So one attack that we saw after the wide sweep is the wormstake cannon attack, which is the single triangle button after the wide sweep. But you can do multiple attacks after the wide sweep by pressing the triangle and circle button to do a blast combo, and that can also even be further comboed into a multi-full blast combo. So let me show you how. We need to do a combo that can get us a wide sweep. Once we are into the wide sweep, press triangle and circle for this full blast. This can be further extended by multi-wimstick full blast, and it consumes every ammo that you have, the blue and the yellow one, to do this devastating attack to the monster. Now the only ammo that we haven't used is the leftmost one, the red one. The way to use that is hold down your R2 button and press triangle and circle to do the Wyvern's Fire. So it will charge for a small time and then do a damage. It consumes one ammo at a time and can be done twice. These red ammos are actually recovered over time. They automatically recover, and they also gradually recover after we hit the enemy with our attack. Another combo that we have is the lunging up thrust combo, which is to use the left stick and the triangle button to open up the combo, then press the triangle and circle button for the overhead smash, and then do the circle for the burst fire. So let me show you again. Up thrust, overhead smash, and then burst fire. So this is one combo which basically consumes all your shell and ammos. Now this can also be converted into a wide sweep, which opens up the combo opportunity for the full blast combo. So up first, overhead smash, and then if you press triangle for an overhead smash, it will always result in a wide sweep, and you know what you need to do after a wide sweep. So do this, and then wide sweep, and then triangle and circle for full blast, and then circle or triangle for the multi-full blast, which is extremely powerful. This is the lunging upthrust combo. Another way you can quickly get to a wide step is by using the shelling attack, which consumes the golden ammo. For example, do a single circle attack. It consumes the shelling. But using the shelling and using the L button, left stick with the triangle button, you can actually move into a direction and convert it into a moving wide speed, and it becomes eligible for doing your combo, the full multi-blast combo. So shelling, do this, then triangle and circle, and then do a circle or triangle to do this full blast. Good thing is the full blast combo always hits, because even if you don't have ammo, it loads the ammo for you. Now the other variant of this attack is, we pressed a circle button for shelling. You can also charge the shelling, which consumes all the ammo. You do that, and then you still can convert it into a moving wide sweep, and then you can take it forward to the full blast combo. Next we have rising slash. Rising slash can also be converted into a full blast combo like this. So you do a rising slash, press circle for shelling. Now do rising slash, circle for shelling, and then you can move wide sweep, and then you can convert it into the full multi-full blast combo. Amazing to 445 damage and 42 hit. And similarly, rising slash, you can now follow it with overhead smash if you press the triangle. So rising slash, triangle for overhead smash, then wide sweep again triangle, and then triangle and circle for full blast, and triangle or circle for the full multi blast. Then we have guarding. So you can guard with the Gunlance, and it is a powerful, you take very less damage. In fact none, very cheap damage, but if you can also do a perfect guard with it. So let me show you. You can perfect guard it like this. After a perfect guard, you can also convert it into a overhead smash if you counter it with the triangle button. And you know, when you can do overhead smash, the next triangle is wide sweep, and then you can convert it into a full blast combo. It is pretty insane and powerful. Next we have the focus strike for Gunlance. It does a very powerful cannon attack if we have the ammo for it. So let me open up a wound first. The wound is opened, then reload, get that blue ammo, and then press R1 for the focus strike. It will do multi-hit, and then it will finish it up with a cannon attack and consume the ammo. Now another combo that you can convert is with the rising slash. When you do overhead smash, you can do circle for burst fire, and then you can convert it into a wide sweep, and then you can take it to the full blast combo. So that is also another possibility that you can do. After the overhead smash, you can either press triangle or circle, and both of them can be taken up to the full blast combo. So in that way, Gunlance opens up a opportunity, like almost every attack can be converted into this full blown combo, which can deal a lot of damage to the enemy. This weapon has a little bit of learning curve to it. Let's jump right into it. So the first thing that we want to understand before using Longsword is the spirit gauge, which is the empty sword you can see before our weapon icon, and the purpose of that is to actually fill it and upgrade it to level 3. The levels are signified by 3 colors around that spirit gauge, as we will see. So the first level is the color white, the second is indicated by the color golden, and the third is the color red. The purpose is to keep that spirit gauge at level 3, which is red color, as much as possible, and do damage to the monster during that, because some basic attacks are enhanced during the red gauge, and we also have some access to special attacks during the red gauge. Let's start with some basic attacks. We have a triangle as the basic attack in this, which is overhead slash, and crescent slash. So using this triangle combo, you will fill the spirit gauge as you saw. Other attack that we have is the circle attack. Circle attack is used for thrust and rising slash. This is the 2-button combo, thrust and rising slash. The third attack we have is uses the R2 button. Now these attacks can only be used if you have the spirit gauge, and these are used to upgrade the level of the spirit gauge. As of now, we do not have any color around that spirit gauge, not even white, which means it is not at any level. So we'll use the R2 button first, second, third and fourth. So if you see now, after using this 4-button combo using the R2, we use the spirit gauge, but we also upgraded to level 1, which is the white color. As you can see, there is white color around that spirit gauge. So we need to fill the spirit gauge again and then use the R2 button combo to upgrade the level again. As you can see, now it is golden. Golden is level 2. So we are upgraded to level 2 of that spirit gauge. Another thing that we have is the R2, pressing and holding R2, which is the spirit charge. This is used for upgrading the level of the spirit gauge. The longer you charge will upgrade the level even more. So if I release it now, obviously we are at golden, we will go to red. Moving on, we have some other attacks in our arsenal, which is the fade slash. Fade slash is actually a slash where you move backwards. So if you want to keep distance, do it, and then you can follow it up with an R2 attack, which is this step slash. So fade slash is done by triangle and circle and then followed up by the R2 attack. The next attack that we have in our arsenal is the spirit thrust, where you jump and you do a follow-up spirit helm breaker. As you saw, when we did this attack, we were at spirit gauge level 2, which was golden, and now we are at white. So it consumes a spirit gauge level, so you cannot perform this attack when you are anything below white color. Now there is a follow-up attack, but you have to be in red spirit gauge for that attack. So let me quickly go into red gauge attack. Now let's do that attack which I was talking about, spirit thrust, helm breaker, and then followed by a R2 attack, which is a spirit release slash. That is why we have to be in the red gauge as much as possible to have access to these attacks which do crazy amounts of damage. Other attack that we have is actually the mid combo escape attack, as I call it. You attack and then you do circle, R2 and circle. Special thing about this attack is, if you are able to dodge an enemy attack successfully with this, you will fill the spirit gauge completely. Let me show you how it's done. Then you see, another attack that we have in Longsword is the special sheath attack. That is also done, I think, mid combo. Do this special sheath and press the triangle. Now you can see our spirit gauge is gradually filling up automatically without doing anything. So that is what this light slash is for. It is very good, very useful combo. Other thing that we can do is upgrade the level of the spirit gauge through the other attack. Attack it, sheath. Yeah, as you can see, we went from white spirit gauge level to golden. So we did an attack, sheathed it. Our attack and the monster attack should clash for us to upgrade the spirit level. Now let me show you other cool things when the spirit gauge is red. Now when we are at red, basically use the basic triangle attack. It is, you can see it is enhanced now. It does more hits than normal attack. Then we have other R2 combo, which is spirit gauge 3. Then you can actually further combo it in the spinning crimson flash, which is only available in the red gauge. And as you can see, when you do this spinning crimson flash, you also increase the red gauge a little bit, as you can see. We also have access to focus strike. As soon as you do it, L2 and R1, you will increase the spirit gauge level. As you can see, our spirit gauge level was white and we jumped to golden, so you increase the level of the spirit gauge by 1. Now apart from all that we have seen, the only combo that remains is the stationary combo, which is your triangle circle, triangle circle. As you can see, you can just continue it as long as you want, like this, as long as you have time for. This is called the stationary combo. So let's get right into it. So the first basic attack with hammer is the overhead smash. This can be converted into a 3-button combo by doing a overhead smash, then again triangle to and then upswing. Now the thing about this button combo is you can move after doing the overhead smash. So it gives you a little bit of movement while doing your attacks, and as you can see, the enemy is already stunned. This upswing, the last attack in this combo, has the potential for the offset attack. So let me show you that you can actually offset an enemy's attack with this by holding down the triangle button to time your attack so that it hits along with the monsters and you offset the attack. 1, 2, and now hold it and release it. Alright, the next attack that we have in hammer is called the Big Bang attack, and it is this combo is actually done through the circle button. The unique thing about this combo is that if you miss it once, you will cancel the combo. So you need to make sure that until you do the Big Bang finisher, you are continuously hitting the monster. So one way is that when monster is down, you have enough window to execute this attack. What all you need to do is you need to be hitting circle, hit, then circle again, then circle again, then circle again, and then big bang. The next thing that you can do is actually a charge attack with the hammer. So for that you need to press the R2 button and you can actually release it to do this charge attack. You also have an option to step during the charge attack. So while you are charging, you can press the circle button to charge again. So that is one way to control mobility while charging. You are not locked in one place, so that is good. Now another powerful web attack that you can do during the charge is using the triangle and circle button. For that, what you need to do is hold down the R2 and get to the charge level 3. Once you are at charge level 3, press the triangle and circle button to do the mighty charge, and then release the R2 button to attack the monster or the enemy. So another heavy hitter in your arsenal, there is an attack called Mighty Charge Slam. So first you need to do the 3 level charges with R2. Once you have done that, press and hold down the triangle and circle button. Now you see you are fully charged, you are glowing, and now you release the R2 and the triangle and circle button to do this Mighty Charge Slam. So this is another heavy hitter which you should consider whenever you had a chance to attack the monster. Another attack that we have with the weapon is the spinning bludgeon. This attack can be combined with the basic combos. For example, you are attacking the monster and you press triangle and circle you do this and then you do spinning bludgeon. As you can see, you are spinning. If you continue to press and hold the triangle and circle button, you will continue to spin. But you can actually convert that into different attacks by pressing the triangle while the weapon is spinning. So if the weapon during the first spin, if you try the triangle, you will convert it into a different attack. If you press the triangle after it has spun twice, then it will convert it to a different attack. And if press the triangle after it has spun thrice, you will convert it into a different attack. And the more you spin, the more powerful your final attack is. So do this, then hold this, 2, 3, 4, and final upswing. Similarly, if you do this, start spinning 1, 2, 3, you see you did a spinning follow up. Now we also have the focus strike with this weapon. So which is this, and you do earthquake. Now other than the basic combo that we discussed was that with the triangle button, and there is also the combo which I talked about, the spinning bludgeon. We have combos for the charge. For single charge, let's say you have done, you press the triangle, you get a charged follow. A single charge, then circle, the triangle, and then triangle. So this is your one combo. The other combo is when you have charged twice. 1, 2, and you do this for a charged big bang. So this is your another combos, and obviously you would target to charge fully to attack the monster, but sometimes you will not have enough time. So if you are not charged fully, you can use these combos. Before we go down the basic controls and the combos for this weapon, let's take a look at the terminology involved around this weapon, like the kinsects, extracts and things like that, so that it makes it easier to learn the basic moves and the combos for this weapon. The first thing that we are going to talk about is the kinsects. Kinsects are the insects that fight alongside you via orders from your insect glaive. Kinsects can gather different extracts from monsters that will power you up, and there are a varied variety of kinsects that you can equip and strengthen in Monster Hunter Wilds. Now these kinsects will extract a substance from the monsters. There are 4 kinds of these substances or extracts as you call it: red, white, orange and green. The color you can extract differs depending on the part of each monster, and you can absorb gathered extracts by recalling your kinsect. So each color will grant a different effect, but multiple colors at once will yield even more effects. For example, the red color allows you to charge with the circle button. The white color increases your movement speed and jump height. Orange color negates the knockback while weapon is drawn. Red and white increases your attack. White and orange increases your defense. And red, white and orange alters some attacks, reduces wind pressure, tremors and roars, and further increases your attack. Now in addition to getting extracts from the monster, your kinsect can do some other stuff as well. For example, if you attack while in focus mode, your kinsect will attack at the same time while simultaneously harvesting the extract. Your kinsect's trajectory will also change in accordance with your attacks. Kinsects can also leave behind a cloud of dust called kinsect powder when attacking a marked monster part. Attacking the powder will detonate it, triggering a number of different effects. For example, blast builds up blast, poison builds up poison, paralysis builds up paralysis, and the recover slightly restores your health. Now with all that terminology out of the way, let's go and take a look at the basic controls of this weapon. You can start a basic combo by using the triangle button. It's called the rising slash combo. You press the triangle to start the combo, then press triangle again for the reaping slash, and then again for the double slash. You can also use the left stick during a rising slash combo or a reaping slash to reposition your attacks. Next attack is done using the circle button. It's a sweeping attack that covers a wide area. It will also recall kinsects if used while in focus mode. Now you can press R2 and triangle to harvest the extract from the monster. So it commands your kinsect to attack a monster part marked by your reticle in order to gather that extract. Hold down on the R2 button to display the reticle. You can press the R2 single time to mark the target. Now while harvesting the extract, pressing and holding down the triangle button will charge your kinsect's attack, allowing them to gather extract from each part of the monster that it passes through. Now R2 plus triangle is used to send the kinsect to harvest extract, and R2 plus circle is actually orders the kinsect to return to you, and the extract it brings will basically strengthen you up. You can also mark a target with kinsect. Marking a target directs your kinsect to focus their attacks on a specific part of a monster. You can also mark a monster part from long range. For that you need to press and hold down on the R2 and then press R1. Your kinsect will attack the marked body part and leaving behind kinsect powder. Now you can also use R2 and X to vault. You can perform a number of actions after vaulting. Vaulting backwards will make you temporarily invulnerable. You can press triangle while in the air to perform an attack that moves you a large distance forward, or circle to perform a downward attack. You can also press X while in midair to evade. Successfully hitting a monster with a jumping advancing slash to chain into a vaulting dance. Performing additional vaults increases the power of aerial attacks up to 2 levels. The direction of mid-air evades can be controlled with the left stick. The focus strike in insect glaive is called the focus thrust, a leaping strike. It's a thrusting attack that is effective against wounds. After hitting a wound or weak point, your insect will pierce through the monster, collecting red, white and orange extracts as it passes through. Now when you have the red extract stocked, you can check that below the weapon sharpness which extracts you have. When you have that stocked, use the circle button to charge and then release it on the ground for a descending slash or in the air for a descending thrust. first. You can maintain your charge while performing other attacks, then follow up with either of the charged attacks. You can even further combo it into a rising spiral slash if you have all the 3 extracts stocked after a descending slash or a thrust to unleash a powerful finisher. While the finisher consumes all 3 extracts, your Kinsect will restock it with the extract it has gathered during the finisher. Now that we have done with the basic controls of the weapon, let's go into the combos. So the basic combo of Insect Glaive is the triangle, triangle, triangle and then circle, which is rising slash combo, then reaping slash, then double slash and then follow up with the overhead smash. It's a combo where every attack can be used with a Kinsect combo. All attacks up until the reaping slash can be directional attacks. You can also move backwards while performing a dodge slash instead of an overhead smash. Now let's talk about the Kinsect powder combo. It is a combo that involves marking a target for your Kinsect to attack, evading backwards, then advancing forwards in order to detonate the powder your Kinsect left behind. It can be followed up with other attacks as well. The way to do this is to mark the target with the R2 button, then vault backwards with R2 and X, and then press the triangle button to jump, advance, slash onto that powder. You can also do a mid-air combo. It's a combo that allows you to travel a large distance in the air. You can also change that into a descending thrust if you have red extract stored. To do the mid-air combo, you need to vault first with R2 and X, then do a mid-air evade with the X, and then do a jumping advancing slash with the triangle button. The last but not the least, the powerful combo with 3 extracts. It's the combo that consumes all the 3 extracts. To do this, you need to use the left stick to move forward and press the circle button for a leaping slash. Then you press down and hold the circle button with the tornado slash because you have the red extract. Then release it to get the strong descending slash, and then follow it up with the L2 and the circle button for the rising spiral slash. Note that if you are already in focus mode, for example if you have a setting that your focus mode is already enabled, then you don't really need to press the L2 button for the rising spiral slash. You can pair a Kinsect combo with a leaping slash up to the tornado slash portion of this combo. While this weapon may seem daunting to learn and there is a lot of going on, but essentially once you learn how to attack with this weapon, it's a very easy and a very fun weapon to use because you produce sounds and you beat monsters with it. To get started, I must explain how it works first before we actually go and deep dive into its basic movesets and the combos that it provides. So the purpose of this weapon is actually to attack the monster and get notes. Every button that you do to attack monster has a mapped note. For example, triangle is mapped to white note and circle is mapped to red note, and pressing triangle and circle gives you the golden note or the yellow note. Now as you can see on the top right corner, there are different kind of things that you get with different notes. You have 2 whites for self improvement, which basically buffs you up. I think it buffs your movement speed. Then you have white, red, white for attack up, and then you have fire resistance with the yellow, red and white, similarly and so on for the other attacks. Now the purpose of this horn is actually you attack monsters with these buttons which are mapped to these notes. Then you get these notes, you accumulate these notes, and then you perform a melody to get the effects from these notes. So as you can see on the top left corner below the weapon sharpness, it shows you the notes that you are getting. So I have 2 notes which both of them are white, so I can actually get self improvement. The way you would get self improvement is by pressing the R2 button. As you can also see on the screen, there is a prompt for it. So once you have the notes required for a buff or an attack, you can perform it using the R2 button. And as you perform, you glow white. You can extend the duration of these effects by pressing again the R2 or triangle and circle button to go into an encore. To do an encore, encore will actually boost the effects of the notes that you are playing, and it will extend the duration of the buffs that you will receive from these notes. So let's say we want to raise our attack power. For that we will have to do a white, which is triangle, then red, which is circle, and then triangle for a white. Now as you can see, if I press R2, I will buff up my attack. So let's press R2. Now as soon as it glows white, you can press R2 or triangle and circle again to do the Enco. Using Enco will make sure that your attack is up and it's boosted even further, and the duration of this buff up is extended as well. So that is how you play with the hunting horn. Now let's with that idea in mind, let's get into the basic attacks and the combos that you can perform with this weapon. Now the basic attacks I think we have already covered. Triangle is the white note, circle is the red note, and triangle and circle is the yellow note. Now these are the basic attacks which will give you these notes. So depending on the combination of the notes and the buffs that you want to get, you will attack the monster similarly. Now the circle button and the triangle and the circle button, which give you the red and the yellow note respectively, they are special in the sense that you can actually get multiple notes, 2 notes at the same time with those attacks. The trick is to use them during your combo. So you attack and then with a left stick you have to, with the left stick you need to press either the circle or the triangle and circle button, and it will do a multi-hit attack which will give you 2 notes at one time. For example, I might start combo with the triangle and I use the left stick to do this flourish, and as you can see I did a multi-hit attack with the circle button and I got 2 red instead of 1. So this is one way to quickly get 2 notes. Similarly, same goes for the triangle and circle. You need to use it in combo. As you saw, we got 2 yellow notes. That is all because you could use the triangle and circle inside the combo, and once you do that you can get multiple notes. So if it is getting too confusing, just focus on single notes, but remember that the circle and the triangle and circle button can give you multiple notes if you want to do that mid combo. One thing that can be done mid combo is a hilt slap, and the way you do it is you need to use the left stick backwards and then press either the triangle, circle or triangle and circle button to get this attack, which is a multi-hit attack. For example, I started triangle, then I left stick back and then I press the triangle and circle button to do the hilt stab. Similarly, you can do that with circle button as well. You can also do hilt stab with the triangle button to get the white note. So in the top left corner you can see there are 3 circle icons where you are getting your notes, and those symbolize how much eco bubbles you can do. For example, you can press R2 and X to do an eco bubble, and you will dance around and create this area of effect where you will get a melody, where you will get some buffs related to your melody. Now what buffs you get is actually dependent on the hunting horn that you have equipped, but in this particular eco bubble that we have created, we have increased our movement speed and our evasion. Now you can do another one because we have 2 more icons on the top left corner, and similarly you can do the third one. So these bubbles will recharge over time, and this is a good way to basically enhance the capabilities of your character and even to actually buff the character and then use this buff using the other weapon to attack the monster. So this hunting horn can also be used as a very good supporting weapon, but in itself it can do a lot of damage, so it is a very viable primary weapon as well. I just want to put it out there. Now this is your eco bubble. Now while you are doing the eco bubble animation, you can also quickly put out notes that you want. For example, while I am doing I can do the, and now I have multiple notes in my melody that I can perform. Now as you can see, I have more than one option to perform melodies because I have multiple notes stacked up, so I can actually do self improvement and attack up. When you have multiple notes lined up which can give you multiple effects by performing melody, you can pick which one to do, or you can apply all of them. For example, if I start with R2, I will apply all of them, but if I want to pick one, I can pick one with R2 triangle or R2 circle, as you can see on the screen, whether it will be the self improvement or attack up. Depending on what I want, I can pick that one, or I can apply all the effects as I want. So if I want to apply all, I'll just do R2 and then R2 again and then N4, and both of the boosts are applied, and the duration is also extended because we did an encore after the performance beat. Other than that, we also have the focus strike, When you are doing focus strike, you can actually push 5 notes at the time when you're doing the focus strike. As you can see, I'll do the focus strike. And as you can see, we actually quickly pumped out 5 notes, and we are ready to go ahead, and we can actually do attack up and self improvement while we were doing the focus strike, because we pushed out 5 notes and we only need 5 notes to do self improvement and attack up. Alright, so the next thing that we have is the special performance attack, which is basically unique to every hunting horn. For this hunting horn, it's called the offset melody. The way the notes required for stacking the offset melody are you need to press circle, triangle and circle, and then circle, then triangle and circle, and then triangle to store the offset melody. Once you have stored the offset melody, any monster which attacks you can be countered with this offset melody. So let me show you how. As you can see, we did the offset melody attack, and that is how you can offset an enemy attack. Now some combos. So first is the basic combo where you use the left stick while doing the damage with the triangle and the circle button. So left stick triangle forward smash, then left stick triangle to use strike. As you can see, it will produce 3 notes instead of 2 as you would imagine. We are doing damage with triangle and circle, but instead will produce 3 notes. And then we had the overhead smash combo, which is a very powerful combo. You use the left stick and press the triangle and circle button, overhead smash, and then do the same thing to get overhead smash follow-up attack. Use the left stick to trigger this combo. Now we have already talked about the performance combo. For example, use the left stick along with the R2 to perform. Use the left stick for the R2 to perform, and then as soon as it glows, use the Encore to get the buff that you want. Now other thing that you can do is the triple melody effect combo. For that, let's get the triple melody in. Self improvement, echo wave and attack. Now what we need to do is just use the left stick and the R2 button to start this, and then as it glows, let's do the performance beat, and you do it when it is glowing white to do the massive amounts of damage, and then finally end it with Encore. So this is the triple melody combo, and it is very useful, there is massive damage if you can actually time your attacks with the rhythm of the performance, and does a massive damage. Another we have is quick performance combo, which basically if you perform after doing a hilt stab, it will the performance will be faster, and the way to do it is you start with a basic attack, then do a hilt stab, and then do a performance, and the performance effects will be faster than they normally are. So let's say I have self improvement, and then I do a hilt, and then I do missed it. Let's say we have self improvement, I do a hilt, let me do a hilt attack, which is, and then I do a perform, so it will actually perform even faster. Now bow is a very simple weapon. With bow you can fire some trick shots and apply coating to your bows to exploit elemental weakness and other status ailments, including increasing the attack power of your bows as well. Using these coatings or the trick shots require the gauge, and you can see the gauge on the bottom right corner above the power coating. So the way you would do is you need to select a coating. Let's say we are going for power coating, which increases the attack power of arrows, and once we have selected that, we need to press the triangle button, and now the power coating is applied to our bows, and it, as you saw, it consumed the gauge, the blue gauge that we have in the bottom right corner. Similarly, if we fire any trick shot like the tracer, it will consume the gauge. So this is about the gauge and how to use the trick shots and the coating while the gauge is full. The gauge actually recovers by attacking the monsters and doing some dodges in between. If you do some perfect dodges, which we'll get to how to do that, and we will recover this gauge. So our purpose is to use this gauge as much as possible while attacking the monster and do damage using the coatings and trick shots along with the powerful bow combos. let's get to some basic attacks with the bow. So the first thing is use the L2 button to aim with the bow. As you can see, our reticle is orange, which means we are within the range of attacking, and every attack we do is gonna hit and will do some increased damage. But if we go a little bit far, you can see the reticle is all grayed out, which means we are out of range. R2 is our button to fire arrows. You can charge this. As you can see, you can charge it up to many levels. The more you charge, the higher damage it will do and the more arrows it will shoot. You can also combo it after shooting by pressing the circle button, which basically fires multiple arrows using the power shot. Next we have the quick shot. It is an attack which doesn't consume stamina, so you can press the circle button to do a quick shot and it fires 3 arrows in a wide area in front of you. Now this quick shot button, the circle button, can be used after any attack to create a quick shot combo. For example, if we fire R2, then we can do a power shot and then power volley. All this is done by pressing the circle button in mid combo. For example, even if we are doing a charged arrow attack, pressing the circle button will do a power shot and then pressing the circle again will do a power volley. So this circle button can be used mid combo to extend the combo. Next we have the arc shot, which is basically you press the L2 button, R2 button and the circle button. You charge them as much as possible and you will get a reticle on the ground, target it and then release all the 3 buttons to do the arc shot. It will fire a volley of arrows from the sky onto your target. And as you can see, these arrows get stick to the monster. These are called fused arrows. These can be detonated with a special attack and we'll get to that attack later on. But these attacks and even the tracer that we fire can be detonated. Next we have charging sidestep, which is a dodge basically that you can do while aiming. So while aiming on the monster, you can press X to dodge. You can do a perfect dodge while monster is attacking, and if you do that, you will also increase the gauge on the bottom right corner, which is the trick shot gauge as they call it. So apart from attacking the monster, this is other way to increase that gauge. Yeah, like you saw. So this is called discerning dodge. Once you do a perfect evade using the charging sidestep, and this discerning dodge will increase the trick shot spirit gauge in the bottom right corner as you saw. You can also do an attack while doing a charging step by pressing the triangle button and it flies you into the air does a swallow shot. For example this, and this is a good way to control the field. You remember we talked about the fused arrows and tracer arrows that we can apply onto enemies. These can be detonated by something called Dragon Piercer. You fire Dragon Piercer using the triangle and circle button. Once you fire that, it will destroy all the fused arrows and tracer arrows on the enemy in an explosion, and it will deal extra damage to the enemy. As you saw, it took some time for us to execute it. This can also be fired mid combo. So for example, let's say we are doing a charge attack and we did a power shot and power volley. Now we can actually quickly do a Dragon Piercer by pressing the triangle and circle button. So triangle and circle button is you do Dragon Piercer. For a quick Dragon Piercer, you can do it in mid combo as I just showed you. So apart from Dragon Piercer, you can also hold down the R2 button and do the same input as Dragon Piercer, like triangle and circle, to do something called 1000 arrows. 1000 arrows also has the same effect as Dragon Piercer, where it will detonate all the fused arrows and the tracer arrows on the enemy in an explosion, doing extra damage. So these are the two abilities that you can use for detonating the arrows on the monsters, either the tracer arrows or the fused arrows that we get from the arc shot. As you can see, we can select coating as we discussed, to use L1 and then triangle or X to select the coating that you want. For example, we want to apply power coating, then we select power coating and press triangle to apply that coating onto our arrows. Now our arrows is infused with power, and every time we do damage, it is going to do increased damage. Now you can also fire the tracer by holding down the R2 button and pressing square to ready the tracer, and then releasing the R2 button to fire this tracer. Unique thing about this tracer is, one is it can detonate as we discussed previously, but all the further attacks that you do are going to home in onto that tracer. So this is one way to make sure that you are not losing arrows into the air, and every time you're attacking the monster they are actually homing in on the monster. So you can actually apply the tracer, fire it, and then all the attacks that you fire, it doesn't matter where you fire, they are gonna home in onto the monster. For example, you see this, as long as you have a spirit gauge you are fine, you can always put a tracer onto the enemy. Now we also have focus strike for the bow, so let me create a wound and show you what it does. Now to do the focus strike you need to press the L2 button and the R1 button. You can charge this as much as you want, and then it will, if I release it, it will do the focus strike, which is called hailstorm. It does multiple attacks onto the enemy and deals damage, which is pretty cool. Now let's get to the combos of the bow. We have already showed you a couple of them, but let's discuss them separately. So first is the Dragon Piercer combo, which is done by firing the R2 shot, then circle, and then you can actually convert it into the Dragon Piercer. Charge with R2, fire, press circle for the power shot, then circle for power volley, and then triangle and circle for Dragon Piercer. So this is called the Dragon Piercer combo. The next combo is the 1000 arrows combo, which is the same as Dragon Piercer combo. It's just that we don't use Dragon Piercer at the end, but rather use 1000 arrows. So R2 charge, shot, then circle, power shot, then circle, power volley, then R2 and triangle and circle for 1000 dragons. The next we have is the tracer combo. The way you execute the tracer combo is by raiding the tracer and firing it, then using the circle buttons to do the power shot and power volley, and then you have to do the flying swallow shot during the charge step by pressing the triangle button. So let me show you how it looks. Ready the tracer, fire the tracer, then two circle buttons, and then you do a quick step and press the triangle button for the flying swallow shot. So this is the ready. So this is your tracer combo. Next we have the arc shot combo, where you will have to first do an arc shot, then a flying swallow shot, and then we'll do the Dragon Piercer. So this is how it will look. R2 and circle for the arc shot, then a quick charge and swallow shot, and then we'll do a Dragon Piercer. This is called your arc shot combo. It is good because you will apply the fused arrows with the arc shot, and Dragon Piercer will actually detonate them off. So let's get to the basic controls and basic attacks of the Greatsword. So first we have is pressing the triangle button, and we call it overhead slash. This is your bread and butter, and you can do a charged variant of it by pressing and holding down the triangle button. This is called charge slash. During the charge slash, it is possible that the monster is attacking you, so you can maintain the charge by doing a tackle. So while holding down the triangle you can press circle, and this will do a tackle. This will not let go of the charged the charge that you have done on the sword, and it will also deal some damage to the monster while absorbing most of the damage the monster would be doing to you while you are charging your sword. Next comes is wide slash, and this is the circle button. So as you can see, this is a wide slash. Other than that we have offset, which is triangle and circle, so it is a rising uppercut. Another variant of this attack is when you hold down the triangle and circle buttons and charge, and you let go at the same moment when the monster is attacking you, leading to the offset attack. So that's why it's called offset rising slash. Another thing that we have is the guard, which is R2 button. So you can guard the incoming attacks using the R2 button. You can do a perfect guard. Basically, when monster attacks you, if you guard at the right moment, you will be able to negate the damage, most of the damage, but it will cost you some stamina and your weapon durability. Other thing that you can do while guarding is you can kick. So you press R2 and then you press triangle, you'll get a kick animation. So this is also good. Other thing that you can do is we have focus attack in Monster Hunter Wild. So if you can see, you can press L2 and you can get into the focus mode, and you will see if there are any wounds on the enemies glowing red. So these red glows are the wounds on the enemies. Now you can do with the Greatsword, you can do a perforate attack, which is the slash attack by pressing R1 during the focus mode. So press L2 to go into focus mode and then press R1 on the wound and it will do this slash attack called perforate. So these are all the basic attacks, and now the combos, the 3 recommended combos for the Greatsword are actually true charge slash combo. This is the most damage output combo in the game, I probably, because you get a lot of damage from this sword, but equally difficult to hit as well because it takes a lot of time. So what you do is charge the weapon using the triangle and then hit the monster, then again press the triangle, do again charge, and then do a strong release it to do a strong charge slash, and do it again the third time to do the true charge slash combo, which is also called TCS combo, true charge slash. That does the most damage out of all the attacks, like this. And now press triangle again and charge again, and this final attack, this double attack, is the true charge slash. So this is your combo, go-to combo when enemy monster is down or you have enough space to execute it. And as I told before, if you see monster attacking while you're charging, you can always use tackle to get out of it while not losing your charges. Then we have forward lunging attack combo. It is good for crowd control and bridging the gap while also attacking. So you do a circle, then do a circle. So you forward lunge and then you do a circle again to do this third attack. So you are here, let's say, and then you do circle, circle, circle. So you can see we close the gap and we did some attack as well. Next is the stationary combo, which is the circle button, then circle, triangle, circle, then circle again, then triangle, circle. So as you can see, it's called stationary combo. As the name implies, you are in your place and doing these combos. Do it rising upper slash, wide slash, rising slash. So you can actually combo it infinitely with this. So circle, uppercut, circle, uppercut, you can continue doing it as long as you want, provided you have time to do it. So anyway, this is a very simple weapon and very good damage potential. The only thing I don't like about this weapon is it's very slow. It feels very heavy. So if you're not a fan of strong big weapons, then it is not your cup of tea, I would say. But otherwise, I think it is a very good weapon in terms of damage potential. So if you like those attacks, meaty chunky attacks, then this is the weapon of it should be the weapon of your choice. Now this weapon has very good reach, so let's get right into it. The first basic attack that you have is using the triangle button. Also can be converted into a 4-button combo where you do 1 tap, 2, 3 and then 4, which is a multi-hit attack. Now good thing is you can control the direction of this attack while in focus mode. So press the L2 button, and if you press this, then you can see I am also moving while focusing the monster part. The next we have is the upward thrust, which is done using the circle button, and it is also a 4-button combo, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now the final attack in this can be charged, and the more you charge, the higher damage it will do. Similarly, like the basic combo, you can actually control the direction or where you are actually hitting it. So you can charge it and then do this. So this has potential for a higher damage. Now another thing is that the last attack can also be used to offset the monster attack, and it will do a double counter thrust. So let me show you how. 1, 2, 3 and you see, double counter thrust. We attacked as the enemy attack was about to hit us, and we did a double counter thrust. So double counter thrust is kind of an offset attack, or basically the mechanism is same. How you trigger an offset attack is to attack at the same time and monster is about to hit you. Next we have the thirst attack, which is basically a distance closer. So you press triangle and circle at the same time and you will do a double hit attack and you will jump towards the enemy. Look at this. Next we have wide sweep attack, which can be done during a combo. For example, you are in the middle of a combo, let's say triangle, then you press triangle and circle to do a wide sweep. This can be done in the middle of the combo. Next is guarding. So you guard using your R2, and while guarding you can do triangle with a left stick. So you give the direction, you do the guard dash. So you are guarding, guard dash, then press triangle to either do a shield attack or guard dash to do a leaping thrust. Other thing is you can guard during combos, and if your guard window is small enough you will automatically counter attack it. For example, 1, 2, like you did perfect guard and it automatically attacked the enemy. So similarly 1, 2. So if you are not doing a perfect guard, you will still do damage to the enemy if you are guarding while in the combo. Next up we have the power guard, which is basically you sit and consume stamina, and while the monster attacks you will actually consume all your stamina during this attack, but the more attacks you consume during this stance, the more powerful your counter attack will be. So guard, as soon as somebody attacks, do a counter attack. Other thing that we have is the dash attack with lance, which is basically to do dash attack, hold down your R2 button and press triangle and circle at the same time and you will start running. You can actually adjust where you are going. You can see you can make use of the terrain, and you can actually use the X while running and controlling. Your stamina will drain continuously while you are running, but you can control the direction using the left stick, and you can actually turn using the X button like I was doing. So once you have run a sufficient amount of time or your stamina runs out, you can actually do one of the two attacks, which is the triangle on the circle button. Use the L to control the stick and do the triangle button. Next you can do is the circle button. After you have run a good amount of distance, your attack is also enhanced, so make sure that you can run as long as possible. You will turn red, and that means you will receive a boost for the next damage. The damage could be the triangle button or the circle button. Now next come is the counter attacks. After a perfect guard, you can basically do a triangle or circle for the counter attack. Now using the triangle will actually let you immediately guard again, and then you can actually use it in a combo as well. But if you do the perfect guard, do this circle attack, which is the payback thrust, if you do that, then you are basically wide open. It does more damage, I agree, but it will leave you open as well if monster is attacking. So make sure you are using the right one. Let's talk about the focus strike in this. Now the focus strike is this, where you do a lot of damage. It is called victory thrust. Pretty straightforward, nothing special to it. So to start it, we have the same attack as the light bowgun, which is R2 for fire. As you can see, we have more ammos for heavy bowgun than the light bowgun, and it feels heavier, so the movement is a little bit restricted. So R2 is the basic fire attack that we have. So this heavy bowgun weapon is quite similar to light bowgun weapon in the sense that there are two firing modes. One is in this, it is called ignition mode, and now we are in ignition mode, and we can use this special attack while in ignition mode, and we also have a special attack for the destroying the wound in ignition mode. You can go back. Now as you can see on the lower right corner where the ammo is, we have this energy which is we are replenishing. So this is the energy that is used in ignition mode. So once we go into the ignition mode, we can now use this energy for the special for the special attacks. So you can do three kind of special attacks. One is Wyvern Heart Ignition, at least in beta, which is the continuously firing. Then you have the R1 attack, which is the Focus Blast, Wyvern Howl, which is for destroying wounds and weak points. And then you have access to Wyvern Counter Ignition, which is this. You can charge and then you can let go to do a powerful damage. So these are the attacks we are doing in the ignition mode. You can also switch back to the standard mode and get this energy going. So our target would be to go into ignition mode and do all these damages. While in standard mode you have access to the basic attacks like R2 and even to the focus attack like this. This is the standard mode focus attack, which does less damage than the ignition mode, of course. So similarly, like light bowgun, you can also select the ammo you want by pressing the L1 and then using the triangle and square button to use the ammo that you want to use. Alright, so one thing that you can do with this heavy bowgun is you can guard and you can perfect guard as well. So let me show you how. You need to press triangle and circle to guard, and you can also do a perfect guard. Now I can agree that this weapon looks more technical than other weapons to start with, but it is not at all difficult if you know what you're doing with this weapon. So let's get into the details of it. First thing that I want to explain are the icons below the weapon's sharpness in the top left corner. As you can see, there are 4 icons: sword, shield, axe and files. These icons symbolize your sword, your shield and the axe that you can transform into using this sword and shield, and then the files are for storing the sword's energy. Now the purpose of this weapon is actually to keep sword, shield, axe and files charged all the time so that you get all the buffs and you can deal the most damage to the monsters while in charge state. Now the next question would be, how do you charge them? So now let's get into it. Now you have the sword with your charge blade and you can do simple attacks with it, which is triangle, triangle, triangle. Now this is a basic attack which can give you some sword energy, but the real energy is gained through the circle attacks. So you hold the circle button, your weapon glows. As soon as it glows you release it and then you follow it up with triangle attacks. With this you are charging your sword. As you can see, it is glowing. As soon as it becomes of this color, your attacks will deflect from monsters, which means your sword is charged, or you can say your sword has gained energy which you need to store in files. Now the way to store this energy in files is by pressing the R2 and circle button. You press R2 and circle and that's it. Sword energy that you gained after attacking the monster is stored into the files. Having the files charged is good. Your attacks are boosted, but you also need to charge your shield, sword and axe. So what you can do is, using the charge in your files, you can also charge your shield. So the way you would do is, once your files are charged, you will press R2 and circle, the same buttons that you use to charge your files, but instead of releasing the circle, you will press and hold down onto it. So you press and hold down onto the circle button and you will execute what is called element boost, and this will charge your shield. And now the shield is charged. It took all the charges from your files and now your shield is good and ready to go. Next is your sword. Once you have charged the shield, you can also charge your sword, and the way you charge is again by pressing the R2 and circle button, and instead now you press and hold down on the triangle button to charge your sword. And once your sword is charged, normal attacks do additional damage, as you can see. Now let's attack again with the sword and get the charges like this. And now that it is charged, we'll store the charge into the files. Now the files are charged. Now let me show you how to overcharge the files. We'll attack here with the sword and we'll keep on attacking. Once the sword is fully charged, we'll store the charge. Similarly, we'll rinse and repeat the same process. We'll do this attack and charge the Now it is charged, we'll store it again, and now you see the bottles, the files are actually sparkly, and this is how you would know that they are overcharged. And keeping this 3 state is should be the bread and butter of using the charged blade, so that we can do as much damage as possible. We haven't talked about the X icon. So the X is charged by, or you can say power X mode is actually attained by multiple of ways. For one such way is actually attacking the wound of an enemy. For example, if I attack a wound, we will actually now enter into something called X mode, and we will also get our X charged with this attack. So this is one way to charge your X. The sword, shield, X and the files are all the things that you need to keep all of them charged and to do as much damage to the monster as possible. Now there are multiple ways to charge your X, or you can say power to enter into power X mode. The one way was to attack the wound. The other way is to perfect guard and then do a triangle to enter into the power X mode. With that all being said, now that you understand what are files, how to charge them, how to charge the shield with the files, then how to charge your sword, and then how to enter into the power X mode. And now let's talk about the attacks that you could do with the sword and the X. So we have 2 modes, the X mode and the sword mode. By default you would start in sword mode, and the way you would switch to X mode is by pressing R2 and triangle. So that is how you enter the X mode. You press R2 again and then you will go back to your sword mode. Now in sword mode you have access to basic attacks, to triangle attacks, which are these. But your bread and butter attack should be the charge double slash, which is you press down the circle button, and as soon as weapon glows you release the button. This can be followed up with a triangle attack. So this is your charge double slash and the round slash. This will give you the most energy into your sword. Now we have something called forward slash, which is executed by pressing the triangle and circle button. This can be followed with another triangle and circle button to do the shield thrust. While in sword mode you can guard the enemy or monster attacks by pressing the R2 button. You can also do a perfect guard. So you do a perfect guard as the monster attack is about to hit you, press R2. So that is your perfect guard. Now once you do the perfect guard with this weapon, you can follow up with the triangle button, which is also called the Savage X mode. Savage X slash, and as you can see it charged our X. The charge blade also has some very good maneuverability. So you, in the middle of the combo, you can always use a left stick to move around by pressing the circle button along with it. So triangle and then circle to do a fade slash. It will cover a very good distance and you also get to attack the enemy. So this is a very good weapon to actually control the battlefield. We have already talked about how to charge the shield, how to charge your files and how to charge your sword. Now let's go into the X mode to see some basic attacks while we are into the X mode. To switch into the X mode we need to press R2 and triangle, and now we are in the X mode. Similar to sword mode, we have some basic attacks using the triangle. So this is called rising slash and followed by overhead slash, and then you can actually use the left trigger and triangle button to combo it into the X dash slam. So triangle for dash slam, rising slash and dash slam. This is your basic combo with the X. Now next combo is done through the circle button, but for that you need charges in your files. So let's first get that. So now that you have charges in the files, you can use the circle button attack with the X, which is element discharge 1, then element discharge 2, and then element discharge, which is an awesome combo, but it uses the charges in your files. Now the next attack we have is the amped element discharge, which is executed by pressing the triangle and circle button together in X mode. So let's get into the X mode and then press the triangle and circle button to get the amped element discharge. As you can see, it uses the charges in the file to execute this attack. This attack can be followed by a circle button, and it can even then be followed by a triangle and a circle button press to execute the super amped element discharge. Now the third attack in this combo can only be executed if your shield is charged. Now that our shield is charged, we can do triangle circle for element discharge, then element follow up, and then super amped element discharge. and it will consume your files charge, by the way. And that's all the basic attacks for the X mode. You can go back to the sword mode by pressing the R2 button. Now let's take a look at the combos. Now let's talk about the basic sword combo. So the way you would start is by doing a forward slash, then triangle, triangle, and then triangle and circle to do the shield thrust. This is your basic attack. But instead of doing this, a better attack would be to again start with forward slash, but instead of doing the triangle attack, do the circle charge, then followed by a triangle, and then do the shield thrust. This will actually give you a lot of sword energy so to charge your files. So triangle, circle, forward slash, then charge your blade, then triangle, and then the shield thrust. This should be your basic sword combo. Now the next combo that we have is the element boost combo, which can be used to charge your shield mid combo. So there is a combo to charge your shield, charge the blade, then charge your shield, and then press triangle and circle for shield thrust. A combo basically to get your shield charged while attacking the monster. So the next combo that we have is the most powerful combo in the charge blade. It's called 3 file element discharge combo. So the way you would execute this combo is to get to a shield thrust. After that shield thrust, you can execute this combo by doing the triangle circle for the emmed element discharge, then pressing the circle for the follow up, and then pressing the triangle and circle button to do super emmed element discharge. You cannot do super emmed element discharge if your shield is not charged. So let us start with the basic combo because it ends with the shield thrust, and after the shield thrust we can execute this combo. Forward slash, charge the blade, do the circle, then shield thrust, then press triangle to do the emmed discharge, then circle, and then the super emmed element discharge. So you can actually execute super emmed element discharge without executing a combo before it. This can be done after doing a guard with the shield. For example, if you guard and you have the charge in your shield, you can press triangle and circle to do super emmed element discharge. Now we have covered all the combos. Let me also show you that X mode attacks are enhanced when the X goes into power X mode. Alright, so let's enter into the power X mode by doing the focus strike. Now as you can see, our X is in power X mode. Now when you attack a monster with power X mode, you can actually press the circle button or the triangle and circle button continuously to actually do additional attacks during the normal attack with the X mode. So let's do the 3 file element discharge combo and show you what I am talking about. As you can see multiple hits that are going in. The first thing that you want to do is press the L1 button and use the triangle or X to go up or down to select the ammo that you want. For example, I am selecting the freeze ammo. So I will traverse while holding on the L1 button and using the triangle and X button. So I'll keep the highlight here and leave the L1 button. Now the freeze ammo is selected. Now what you want to do is use R2 to fire and use L2 to aim. So L2 is aim, R2 is fire, so we fire, and like this we are gonna fire the attacks. After, as you can see in the bottom right corner where the freeze ammo is selected, we have 60s in our pouch, and 1 is how much rounds you have left before you need to reload your weapon. Now we have also created a wound there. Now the same goes, you use the focus strike for destroying wounds. So L2 is for aim or the focus mode, and then press R1, and once you do that you will do a 3-hit attack called Eagle Strike. Next we have the chaser shot, which is pressing the circle button after a fire. So you fire with a gun, you fire, and then you press circle and do a chaser shot. Now next we have the triangle button. The triangle button is used for the guns to load the ammos. Basically, if you, let's say I do this, then I press triangle, I reloaded the ammo. Now you can see our clip is at 4. Similarly, I can do this, and then press triangle again to reload it. Now you can also switch modes with the circle button. If you fire and press circle button, you do a chaser shot, but if you do not press it after a fire, you switch modes. So this is rapid fire mode, you press again and go into standard mode. So the next thing that we have is the rapid fire shot combo, which is how you should be fighting. Basically you need to be in the rapid fire mode first of all. I think we are in. No, we are not. So let's put in rapid fire mode. So we are in rapid fire mode now. Now what you're gonna do is hold down your aim button, then fire, press circle for the chaser shot, then go right. The way you go right is using your L stick and pressing the X button while in the combo. So let's do it again. Fire, circle, move here, then fire again, circle again, then move here and press R2 to quickly reload your weapon. And next we have the special ammo. So for this guide, or at least for the beta, we have the special ammo equipped, which is Y1 blast. So this is a bomb that is actually that detonates after some time after taking damage. So what you need to do is press triangle and circle to have this, and then if we attack this, then it damages. So as you can see, this special ammo can be used, especially Y1 blast can be used when an enemy is down and you want to just put this there and keep on attacking the enemy. So it does extra damage and then it finally blasts. So these special ammos, I believe there will be more special ammos in the game when once it launches, but yeah, this is how you use the Y1 blast. Starting with the basic attack, we have the chop. It can be chained up to 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. The main thing about this combo is it's a very mobile. You can actually move during the combo like this. Very useful in getting to a position where monster is not attacking or getting behind while attacking. The next is actually a powerful combo which is through the circle button. So you press circle, then circle, and then triangle and circle 2 times. The stunning capabilities of this combo can be enhanced by using the L direction, the left stick direction for this at the start of the combo. So for example, you push L stick forward and press the circle button. It will do a shield bash. You can see this, it's doing stun damage to the monster. And 1, 2, 3, same things again. Yeah, so this is very useful for a stunning monster. Alright, the next attack that we have is the advancing slash. This attack can be converted into a different one depending on the terrain. For example, if we run uphill with this attack. Uphill. Yeah. As you can see, it converted itself into a plunging thrust. So good for closing in the gap. Okay, so next thing is we have round slash, which gives you mobility during the combo. For example, if you're executing a combo, press triangle and circle to move. It can be done in the triangle combo as well. So this is something that can be used. Use the left stick to change your direction. For example, if I do this, we can move here. If I do this, we can move this side. Similarly, if we do this, we can also move this side as well. Next we have charged chop, which can be used as the something that can be done at the end of the combo. The more you use it after certain attacks, the more powerful it will be, and if you basically use it against monster weak points like wounds, it will do extra damage. For example, and this combo, and it can be extended with a charge top. Similarly, it goes for the circle combo as well. Spinning Reaper and then charge top. Very useful stuff. Always end your combo with this if you have the chance and monster is not attacking you. Next we have backstab and perfect rush. So what you do is, in the middle of your combo, you can use the left stick and the circle attack to do the backstab. So 1, 2, backstab, then press the triangle to do the leaping attack, then keep pressing the triangle as you are glowing and fall and bash. Look at that, 13 hit combo. So this is an easy way to extend your combos, that is to do a backstab and then you do a triangle to do a perfect rush. This also inflicts elemental damage and can extend your combos. Now the other variant of backstab is the charge slash, where you are in the middle of combo, you go back, but you keep on pressing the circle button and then you go into the air directly. So now you can also use the shield with the R2 button. So for example, this, keep on guarding the attack. You can also do a perfect guard if you guard just before the attack is about to hit you, like this. And you can actually follow up attack with the perfect guard, which is counter slash. It's a one hit attack, like this. Using the shield, you also have access to other things. For example, you can do a slide and you can close in the gap with the enemy. For example, look at that. This is a 2-hit attack, like this. And this is a good way to bridge the gap between you and the monster. Other useful stuff with sword and shield is that you can use the item in your item bar using the R2 and square button. This is the one of the weapons where you don't have to sheath it to use your items. You can do it while unsheathed by pressing R2 and the square button. Next is focus strike. The focus strike in this weapon is actually can be done two ways. For example, you can do, after the R1 attack, you can press falling slash using the triangle button, or you can do one of my favorites, press the R1 and do the circle to go up, or spin bash and then falling slash. Always do this attack, it does more damage. Now we have a couple of focus mode combos as well in this weapon. While in focus mode you can actually backstep and keep pressing the circle button to charge your blade, then press the triangle, go up and then do a circle while going down, and then you can actually keep on attacking the monster. That is one. Other is in focus mode, instead of holding the circle button when going back, just go back and then press the triangle and then perfect rush. And so yeah, I think that is it for this weapon. We have a lot of possibility of combos and it is quite good in terms of defending as well as movement across the field with its ability to move across the combos. Now this is a very easy weapon to pick and there is not much to it, but it's a very cool weapon in terms of mobility and fast attacking. So let's get started. First thing is you have some basic attack combos, which is triangle, 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 and then you have the circle button which does this lunging strike and then spinning slash. So this is a two-step combo. You can change the direction of the attack using the left stick. So lunging strike, spinning slash, lunging strike, spinning slash. That is all there is to it for the basic attacks, but the beauty of this weapon lies in something called demon mode. You enter into a demon mode by pressing the R2 button, and now you are in demon mode. You can see on the top left corner the swords are growing and your stamina is decreasing. When you are in demon mode, your stamina will continuously decrease. Press the R2 again to come out of demon mode so that you get your stamina back. The idea is to go into demon mode and do basic attacks to fill this gauge that you are seeing on the top left corner. Now once it is full, this is called demon gauge. Once the demon gauge is full, you can press R2 to get out of demon mode. Now you are in something called arc demon mode. Now you can see your hands are glowing and the demon gauges is slowly reducing. Now this is called arc demon mode. Now the purpose of these dual blades is to either stay in demon mode or arc demon mode to do the damage. But when you are in demon mode, you get access to this circle and triangle. Then you press again blade dance 2 and then blade dance 3. This combo can be extended even further when you are in arc demon mode. So let me show you how. We have filled the gauge and we are in demon mode. So in demon mode, do the triangle and circle button to blade dance 1. Now just keep on pressing R2 button. You can see demon flurry, blade dance 2, demon flurry 2 and then blade dance 3. All this is being done while exiting the demon mode and entering the arc demon mode. So this combo is extended by pressing the R2 button, and that is all there is to it, to this weapon. This is the bread and butter attack of this weapon, that you do this and then extend it with the R2 button, and you will keep on exiting and entering the demon mode with this. Other than that, one thing that to note here is in demon mode or arc demon mode, you have access to this is dodge, but you have access to the dash. Enter the demon mode. If you see, this is the dash we are talking about. Now in demon mode or archdemon mode or whichever mode you are in, let's say you are in archdemon mode or in demon mode, you can do a perfect dodge which boosts your attacks. So when the enemy is about to attack you, you can see this. So this is called demon boost, demon dodge boost or whatever you want to call it as, but you can actually get this boost while in demon mode or in archdemon mode, both modes. Other thing that we can do is the obviously the focus strike. In focus strike, it is one of the coolest focus strikes in the game in my opinion. In focus mode, press R1 and you do this super cool animation. Look at that. All this is done in press of a single button. There are no inputs involved. You just do it when you hit a focus strike on an enemy.